Let's have a look at another VCR. Got here a Panasonic NV-HD100. It's a bit lightweight, cheap and nasty feeling, and it was on my junk pile. There's no screws holding it down, and there's also screws missing inside it. I had a go on this some years ago and noted that it looked like the loading motor is slipping. I'm not really sure what that means, but let's try and rediscover that. We'll try putting this thing in. It turns on. Oh, yeah, okay. So this is one where it needs to have that flap because of this, which I can't get. That's annoying. Here we go. Okay, it seemed to work fine. Okay, so is it fine? Is there nothing to do? I can tell that there's something wrong. Yeah, it can't see that moving, I guess. Yeah. Alright. Let's give it a little bit of a clean, and then we'll put a real tape in it and see if it works. Maybe this just works fine, and for some reason it didn't back then. That doesn't really make sense, does it? But we'll try to clean it, and then perhaps we'll take it apart to look at it and decide. We'll see if it works or not. Actually works. Okay, we'll just do a standard cleaning, just a wipe down of the guides and things, just to keep them, get them nice. Detecting. Yeah, maybe it won't work once there's a tape in it. I wonder what it uses for sensing then. Maybe it's the end sensors. Okay. Weird. Just thinking I should take this off to clean it properly. I'm gonna wreck something. This is a newer design where the capstan is behind the pinch roller instead of in front of it. Pinch roller drops down. Okay, let's see what the head's got. It's a bit dirty, I can see some stuff on it. Okay, well that should be clean enough to at least try it out. If it looks like it's going to work, then we'll get a video connection in. Or maybe we should get a video connection in now. This is RCA outputs. The one on the right, or left on this side. Oh, that's all not even attached. Alright. Okay, let's see if it does anything. Plug it back in. Sort of working. Not very well though. I don't know if this has a tracking control. I think it's supposed to be automatic, but it doesn't seem to have any manual override that I can see. This isn't the tape that I thought it was either, for testing stuff out. I suppose we can try this one. It's the one that had that long play on it, and I didn't realize that in the previous video that it was long play, and then couldn't work out why it wasn't working. Don't know what to do when there's no tracking control. It's all very taken apart. Yeah, I wonder what that means. Oh look, there are the screws from it. That grounding thing doesn't even touch. This is very confusing because the behavior of it is quite different to what I remember. What I remembered was there's something slipping and it wouldn't load anything, because the comment I had by this one says couldn't get it into play, looks like loading motor is slipping, but that doesn't seem to be the case now, does it? But now I wonder if the video head is wrecked. For some reason this is being pulled off. It might have been because I was trying to use this in another machine. Just a random old tape for testing. Oh yeah, that's where I recorded before to test that out. It's interesting the picture comes right when, well, on my monitor the picture comes right when fast forwarding, but it's mostly noise. I wonder if that's to do with the heads not picking up properly. We need to check the signal coming off the heads. Pretty sure what the problem is with this is that the head is damaged, or the heads on the drum are damaged. When I look very closely at it, some of them are missing, and since trying to clean it again, it seems to be worse now. I don't get any picture at all, and yeah, we need to get a close-up look at that, but pretty sure that's what the problem is, and it's highly unlikely I'm going to have another one of these lying around that we can try. Not one that's compatible with this, but I'll think about it and see if I can find something that might. Well, we'll look up close, and I don't know, the method that I was using for cleaning the heads shouldn't have caused damage because it just slides over the tip, not smashing into them, which is what I can see here. So let's grab a close-up camera and then we'll take a look in there and see what we can see. Yeah, look at that. That's extremely damaged. Surprised that this is just in focus right away without doing anything. Not very often that happens, is it? But yeah, there you go, look at that. The head is ruined. So I wonder if it was hanging in there. See that one there? Is there another bit that's been snapped off there? Looks like it, though I didn't see or hear anything falling off. Because the way the picture kind of worked when it was in fast forwarding while playing mode made me think that there was a head problem, because it switches to heads on a slightly different angle or azimuth when you're doing cue and review mode. That might be okay, but look, the wire is loose on the right hand edge there, and we're back to that. So that is definitely destroyed. So I don't know how that happened. Presumably it's been like that the whole time I've owned this machine. I don't know where this came from. It would have just been given to me at one point, probably with a whole pile of others. But yeah, that's not going to work, and that could wreck the tape, and I'm pretty sure that's snapped off. So there you go. Got to be careful with the video heads, otherwise that might happen. So while we're here, we might as well explore this machine a bit more, just for fun. Because yeah, I don't know, if I can't find another head that will fit on there, then there isn't much more that we can do. Because it's hi-fi, and most of my machines are not. I was wondering if we could somehow bodge the head from the G20 into there. Maybe. Let's look at this. I need to unplug. So I guess you don't have to unplug anything if you're doing it that way. So it's just one board with various modules on it. Double-sided board, but still on a, whatever that is, phenolic stuff. They're using different plugs. Well, those are the like, normal ones from the 80s machines, but there's these other ones which are like that. Yeah, IDC assembled, or IDT. A heatsink is attached to that shipment, but it's not clipped on hard enough, so that won't be doing a very good job. That's a bit sad. And it looks like there's options for more things. Maybe there's an SVHS model that would have extra stuff there. Maybe? McLeod. That's what they call the machines in Japan. Action McLeod. I think that's audio. Yeah, it says there FM audio, so that's the hi-fi stuff. I guess they would not fit that on the machines that don't do the hi-fi sound. And it looks like the video, YC. Then we've got things, some of these will be tuner. I think that's the audio, normal audio. Don't know if that comes out. That's some servo, be motor control. That's a motor controller there, that thing with the tab. Decoder. Demodulator. A bunch of modules. Don't forget that ground wire. And then the audio connection. Good they haven't used those annoying ones where it's bare wires poking into holes, because that was very terrible. We found on the power supplies on the other machines. At least this one's got a proper connector going onto the power supply. Wonder why one of them is a shielded wire. You can see there, quite strange. Not seen shielded wires coming from the power supply before. All of this is loose. Guess then we can look at the bottom side of the mechanism without taking the bottom cover off. If this can come off without taking the bottom cover off. Let's see if we can tip it over without too much falling out. So we can look underneath. Oh, it's not one that you're supposed to get in from the bottom. It's probably why everything was unscrewed. I probably had all this out previously to try and work out what was going on. Yeah, there's a whole board on the bottom of the mechanism. Maybe it was a different machine that had loading motor slipping issues. Can't remember if it was that, but I remember poking one and it seemed like the motor wasn't connected to the worm drive, which is what I thought this had, but anyway. There's not much going on down there. If we look inside the power supply, might be a pretty quick video if I can't find a replacement head. No, I don't think that comes off because that is probably mounted in there. Yeah, it's not going to be held in by that. Anyway, I think it's just a standard affair with capacitors and bits and pieces, switch mode power supply. I think because this machine's not quite so old, the capacitors haven't crapped out yet. I'll have a look around to see if I can find something that might fit in here. If we do find something though, probably would have to bodge the connections onto that to get it to work. Yeah, it's not going to be very easy. Get rid of all this stuff that doesn't do anything. Am I pulling the wrong thing off? So that's useless now because we don't have the automatic heat cleaner. I don't know what that does. Just a guide. I guess it's a guide. Yeah, that doesn't interfere with the head, so we'll leave that there. I'm going to remove the head drum assembly so that I can look at it. That ground wire is not even touching it. I wonder if, since that grounding thing wasn't even touching the top there, does that mean this has been changed before by someone else or by me, and that the good one has gone to some other machine and the bad one's been put in here? That is possible. Screws do feel nice and tight. Could have been re-tightened. Okay. Yeah, that's I will have a little look around, see if there's any machines I've got which take something similar to this we could try putting in here, for the fun of trying to make something work that didn't work before. Okay, I found a machine that might have a compatible head. Maybe. It looks quite similar. It's, I'll get this out of the way first. This is F55. It's like a more nice version of what we were looking at. Better buttons and controls. Actually has a tracking control. This doesn't have long play though, I don't think. So that might mean the head is still slightly different, but not sure about that. But the head has the same kind of layout with 4 doofies on it. Almost. Looks like that's been replaced by someone and they've damaged the track. Ah, looks like this has had a replaced head with one that has more stuff in it than... You see, there's some empty pins there. So there's nothing coming up from the bottom on 2 of those pads, and that one's missing a pad. Whereas this one that we're taking out of the machine we're trying to get working has all 4 have got 4 terminals soldered, although that one there only has 2 wires coming off of it. So I guess that's true then. So this carrier must be one that can take more heads. So maybe these are the same. Perhaps we'll test this machine first. Let's just try it out. My record says that this works well, fine. So perhaps we'll test that. Let's put in a tape that we don't mind destroying. Nice and squeaky. Huh, works. Oh, I don't know what happened to my picture. Thing's gone. Okay, well this is working. Okay, there it is. For some reason it zoomed off to some other location that I don't know. Anyway, look, the machine works. Let's see if we can borrow this head and stick it in the other one just to prove whether that one works or not. Okay, that means we've got to take this head out. We've got to undo all the stuff and perhaps we'll get the bottom open up first before we loosen off all this stuff. The other one I was looking at borrowing from was an H65 that also might be compatible, but we'll perhaps wait till the H65s. I've got 3 of them. Will come up in a later video. We'll have a look at those machines, see if we can get some of them working. In the bottom of the head, it looks the same as what's on the G20s, except that connector is shorter because it doesn't include the hi-fi audio stuff. So it might even be possible to bodge a G20 head into that machine and just skip the hi-fi audio heads. Probably don't have to do that because we should be able to get this one in. Really tough screws. Gotta have the right screwdriver for those two. For some reason those are always extremely tight. Let's see, will that connect on? It will. Okay. Well, that's a good sign. Let's get this out completely then and try it in the other machine. Now there's the head motor connector. Now finish taking these screws out. Okay, donor head. Get rid of this. Going back in this. And we'll hook it up. Hopefully that still connects. Yeah, that seems to be the same. Good. Dull looking. And still gonna need a really good clean. Let's just wipe the bottom edge down a bit. Try and tidy that up, and then we'll clean the upper part once it's finished installing. And watch out to not touch the video heads. You don't really want to wreck tapes from dirty stuff. It's where the contact part ends. You can see there's wear on this. It's a bit worn. Okay, let's get that in. And we'll screw that into place. Oh, there's a diagram on there on how to do stuff. Or identify stuff. The phase of the K mechanism. Okay, so this isn't a G mechanism, it's a K mechanism. Alright, we'll clean this head. Interesting that it wasn't clean already because it wouldn't have been used much or really at all since this machine that came out of was tested, and I wrote that it worked okay, but maybe I didn't clean it then. It is very dirty. It seems to have some sort of sticky residue. Feels much better than the other one. You can feel the head protrusion. Probably because this has been replaced at some point. It's a newer upper drum, but still quite dirty. Surprisingly dirty. Perhaps I just tested it last time without cleaning it first. Now let's try this and see if it does anything. It just turns, so that's good. Oh, I think I wrecked the door opening thing when I was trying to take the front off. Okay, this is one where the door flap is on the front panel, not part of the mechanism. Yeah. The tracking is a bit off. Is that tracking? There might be, yeah, head issues there with those weird spots. But it's more or less working now, so that shows that it was the head that was the problem. And the picture's still a bit munted. It's got a jog shuttle control on the front. Yeah, it's not a very good one though, since it can't cleanly switch between forward and reverse like a proper machine that has editing capabilities. You see, it has to do something to switch to reverse. Anyway, it's probably out of alignment. That's reverse manual then to work out where the test points are. I don't know what those are for, but I'm guessing it is out of alignment since we changed to a different head. Worth trying to change that on the off chance that it is the problem. I don't know, do we wreck the alignment of this machine? Yeah, the problem is you got to put the tracking into neutral, but there's no tracking controls on this. Anyway, perhaps I'll look up, I'll see if I can find out where I need to connect to view the RF signal. Yeah, if we can, then we'll check it. Yeah, I'm not sure where the best ground is, but I found where, I don't seem to tell you that, but I found test points for the record RF, or just the RF, and I was going to ground to that, since that seems kind of groundy, and the other one here, the head switch signal, and then that is a link that's been cut, and it says you have to rejoin that to turn off the auto tracking. So I guess that gets joined in the factory, and then they do the alignment, and then they cut it and ship it. So we're just going to pretend that this is an alignment tape, and we'll see what we find. Yeah, we find it's very unaligned. Oh, I haven't got that camera set up anymore. We were using to see the scope screen. Look at that, that's quite bad. So that's at the outer edge, so let's adjust this. Oh, that's much better, isn't it? That's where we were. Bring that up. Oh, there's a bad bit in the tape. Yeah, well, we ruined it now. Well, I can hear a noise. Oh, did I turn it too far? I don't know. Probably gonna get copyrights on this tape. Let's try a different one. So that tape that had the hi-fi sound, let's try that, and we'll see if it can actually pick that up. Wow. Okay, that's pretty bad. Yeah, it's no good, is it? Okay, that tracking is moderately good now. It's still not the best. Okay, that is better. Still, the hi-fi light has not come on. Oops. Scope leaning on this test point. So I'm wondering, should I cut that link now to put it back into normal mode and see if it auto tracks itself good? I don't know if you have to reboot it or anything for that. Yeah, got a pretty decent picture out of it, which is good. So it's just a head problem. That's all we had, and now probably an alignment problem now that we've played around with that. Try another one of our favorite tapes. Not bad. There was a little clicking noise. I think there might be a dodgy bit in the tape there. Looks fine. Great, so I guess we can say this is fixed, though at the expense of another machine which also worked. So if we could find another head, then we'd have another working machine. But whether or not that's an advantage, I don't know. So I think we're done here. That's a look at the NV-HD100. A quick look over of the thing and discovering that the head is damaged, and then proving that if we replace the head, it would work again. Yeah, that thing gets stuck. Okay. We'll move on to another VCR or some other activity. That one tape that we're trying to get the hi-fi tracking correct, it seems to play fine in this machine. Maybe this has quite a wide or good pickup of stuff. I don't know what that means. Maybe it can do well with hi-fi sound, because it doesn't tell you that it's running in stereo or not on the front. None of the LEDs come on, but it seems to sound like it's reading the hi-fi sound. It's a bit clicky, but mostly working. Sounds like stereo, only a bit of clicking.
So, who wants to go in first? I will.
And if we try the tape with the bars on it that we recorded the other day, it should have a 1 kilohertz tone on it. It's a little bit clicky, which seems to be okay. Seems like the hi-fi sound is working fine. That means we should keep the head in this machine and have this as a good one for doing stuff with. I don't know. If you join that link, you can see it self-adjust once the link is disconnected. Yeah, it's hard to say with this. Perhaps I need to get an analog scope to properly assess this. Anyway, there you go. Hi-fi audio mostly working. Seems to be working. And the exciting clear tape.